credentials get you in the hall. Character has something to do with it as well. Tell us a little bit about Chester.
Chester's character, like I said earlier today, he's a man of faith, family, and friends. And anybody who knows Chester, that's who he was. Man of faith, family, and friends. And he was a big guy, but he was a big man of faith as well. And that thing I am so proud of, as he is my younger brother, but he's my younger, bigger brother, which he's always called me his little big brother. And I've always called him my big little brother. And I am so proud of his faith. And I've always cherished that about him daily. And I think about him daily about that.
Tiffany, what did you enjoy about his career? You know, whether it was college or the NFL, what did your family enjoy the most about watching him?
Most of the time when I was at the games, I would be sitting beside my mother. And she was an athlete in her youthful days. And so a lot of times she would tell me, you know, Tiffany, slide over, I'm playing now. You know, she'd be playing right along every play. She's leaning left or right. And so I just learned to sit one seat over from her so I wouldn't get hit as much. But the best thing about watching him throughout all of it was just his humble spirit. He always felt that football was an addition to his life. God was first and family was next and then football. So I kind of treated it like he did, because for Chester, once he made it to the NFL, it was definitely a job for him. It was his job. So I learned to treat it like it was his job, but all along before that, I was the little sister that was always following behind these two guys. I tell people all the time, I never had a chance to grow up and be a princess because I had to learn to wrestle and run and all this fun stuff they had me doing. But the best thing was just seeing Chester give his teammates accolades and just build everybody up around him and just continue to do his job. That was the best thing, and he gave me a lot of encouragement in watching him do that, because I played basketball, but I didn't start until 9th grade. So these two guys were definitely encouraging me to stay active. So he was just very humble, and he was a team player. Even though a lot of times he might have, especially in high school, he was the star, because his senior year he was the most, he was voted the most outstanding athlete in North Carolina. But he never forgot about his teammates, which some of them are here today with us. So he was just an all-around good guy. He never forgot about his community and the people around him. So I was just thrilled to be that sister watching, that little sister.
Leon, what would he say after one of his NFL games? You know, he played 12 years in the NFL. That's a long career in his position. You know, what would it be like for him when you talk to him after the game?
He would call me, and he would say, you know, I'd see him on TV if I wasn't at the game, and say, Lee, how did I do? I'd say, well, you did well, you know. And he said, well, how did I do? I'd say, you got double teamed every play, so you did your job. He said, I did. He said, and then anytime he'd always say, if I got just one person just to block me one time on a play, I could get a sack. But he got double teamed every time, and he would always call me, but we always talked the same thing. I said, Chet, you always played well because you gave it your all. And he said, Lee, I did. And he said, I just thank God that I am healthy and that the team, we all left the game healthy as well. He always thought about his teammates.
Tiffany, I'm thinking about your family around the table, right? You trying to struggle to get a biscuit, I'm guessing, because those two boys probably taking up everything at the table. What was it like growing up with him, you know, when he had such a gentle spirit about him and he's this giant man?
There's so many memories of us playing and just being siblings. So it was different. I really wanted to be a princess, but I just was not afforded that with these two guys because I learned the Sioux flags, I learned the figure four and all those wrestling moves and stuff. So it was just out of watching them do things, and I always just wanted to kind of join in. So I didn't care what they were playing and what they were doing. But Chester and I, just growing up, we all graduated 2 years apart. And so for his last 2 years of high school, it was just Chester and I at home with Mom. And we just were always close. They were always protective of me. So I just really enjoyed them being my big brothers. I mean, I didn't worry about people bothering me and things like that. Not that I was a troublemaker. It was just that, even boyfriends, guys would say, we'd like to talk to you, but, you're brothers. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's your outlet, go ahead. But if you can't hang with my brothers, then you definitely can't hang with me. So it was cool, and it was just great growing up. I would not change it for anything in the world. They were my rocks. They definitely are.
Leon, what do you think Chester would say about being recognized in North Carolina by the Sports Hall of Fame?
He would be humbled because North Carolina was his home. He got inducted to the Greater Wilmington Sports Hall of Fame about probably 2009. He got inducted to the Greater Wilmington Hall of Fame, and he and I were driving to Wilmington from Whiteville. He said, Lee, it just feels so good to be recognized in Wilmington, in North Carolina, because that's where we grew up. In our community, we played sports for all the community kids. We were raised by our community in Whiteville. We couldn't have football practice in the summer at 12 o'clock in Whiteville because everybody worked at the tobacco field. So the coaches had to move the practice to 3 o'clock. Everybody would come in from the tobacco field, the pads would be on the field, everybody would get off the trucks where they work, and we put on football pads and start practice. But growing up, it was wonderful. I mean, we had a wonderful time, and it was amazing. It was a community effort in Whiteville. It really was.
A chance to thank the people in Chester's path that helped him and helped your family.
That's numerous, but I would like to thank his wife, Zena McGlockton, and the two people who mean the most to him, Skylar and Sarah McGlockton. Will you please stand to be recognized right now, please? Please stand and be recognized. These are the three most important people that my brother care about on this planet. And also I'd like to thank our dad. He's here, our father. He trained us in the summer. He's a Vietnam veteran, did 3 tours of Nam. He was a Special Forces captain in Green Beret. We spent our summers in Florida with our dad. We did swimming, fishing, hunting, racquetball, but he trained us as well to be men and to have high character, and that's what he gave us, and our work ethic. He gave that to us every single day. And I also like to thank the Clemson University family that's here. If you're here, thank you so much. And a special thanks to Coach McCorvey that's here. Stand up, Coach. If you don't mind, stand up. He is responsible for Chester McGlockton being at Clemson University. And all of his teammates, we like to thank you. And also, before I go, we like to thank my family that's here. My Aunt Clarice, you fed us every day, Auntie. Thank you. Thank you. You fed it. You gave Chet a whole 8-piece chicken. I remember. You cooked it, Auntie. And I just want to thank you, Auntie. Also, thank you in the back to Porter Hardy for being my brother's best friend his entire life. And after he left, you were there and always been there for our family. Thank you, Porter.
Congratulations to the McGlockton family. Thank you both so much for representing Chester. Ladies and gentlemen, Chester McGlockton's family.